Hey guys, it's been a minute. Da, 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 da. Hopping on. Um, y'all know I like to walk and talk. Does something to my brain. Happy June. June is almost over. Um, Try to come on and just check in and say hey. Usually have a topic to talk about. Today I don't really have that much to talk about. Um, it's 7 days away from my birthday. Hi, Erwin. 7 days away from my birthday, and I'm just really feeling good. The summer solstice was yesterday. Um, Other things that I need to do to run my business. We've been having a lot of success with our. Yes, I'm still married, hon. We've been having a lot of success with our couples yoga classes, and those have been dope. So just want to shout out everyone who's come through the yoga spaces and interacted with us in any way. So appreciate it. Don't be sad. You should be glad. Black love is beautiful. Pray for your light to meet you. It's going to happen. It happens. It all happens, right? It's not by coincidence. We all have our own destiny and timelines. So, but I did want to talk about character real quick. Learning as a growing space what character is, what defines good character, what defines not so healthy character. I try to stay away from using the words good and bad because those are made up ideals. But like, what's good character? I guess it depends on what your moral scape is, right? We all have different moral scapes. And as long as your character is in alignment with your morals, then I'm going to say that's good character, right? So if I say I don't lie and I maintain that space by not lying, not entertaining lies in any way possible, that means not lying out of my mouth. That means not maintaining lies for others. That means not engaging in behaviors that may provide a guise for someone, then that's good moral character. However, if I say I don't lie and I don't tell the whole story, I tell half truths, or I leave out pertinent information that may be needed in order for someone to make the best decision. Um, I yeah, those types of behaviors, then that would be not so good moral character. A lot of times we don't realize that our character is out of alignment with who we say we are, because we've been so used to maintaining certain behaviors in different spaces for our safety. And that's the other thing, right? Are the spaces that you engage in safe spaces for you to be your best self? And if they're not, why do you continue to maintain those spaces? Is it out of necessity? Do you not have a choice? I mean, we always have a choice, technically. But is it a choice that might bring you danger or harm to your body or those who you love? And so you maintain that until you cannot. Sometimes we have to sacrifice, and we choose to sacrifice, and we choose to explore those types of situations. And sometimes we can say, effectively, I do not need this type of engagement. And we disconnect from those things. I'm really trying to steer away from thinking like one thing has to be this or nothing. um, Everybody is living their experience and having the experiences that they're having, and they're all for a reason, right? And I cannot tell you why your experience is the way that it is. I know why my experience is the way that it is. So far, I understand from what I understand, and so I use that as a way to share my life, to share my experience, to share my story, and with hopes that it may help you in some experience that you're having. Hey, Lashenta. Oh man, this hair is getting so long, and then I have some in the front that broke off because I used to wear my hair in too many ponytails all the time. So I have a lot of hair now, and I'm not a big hair person, so I'm kind of over it. Hey, Jay. Oh my God, everybody out today. But yeah, so just looking at, you know, your moral compass and how that works for you, because everybody's moral compass is not the same. I don't have the same moral compass that you have, and you probably don't have the same moral compass that I have. And I see this a lot in these internet spaces where people use their moral compass to judge a behavior that somebody is displaying, and without understanding that that person might not have the same moral compass as you, and so they're not, what you're saying is not going to land because y'all have two totally different ways of experiencing life and experiencing the world. And sometimes what I find when I see something, especially on the internet, that I don't particularly agree with, I think about all the things in the past when I've had difficulty um, sharing myself, and how hard it is to share yourself, and no matter how, you know, it looks to other people, and how, you know, even somebody just not sharing their opinion could have helped me blossom into this person that I am blossoming into now even sooner. But because I lived with a lot of other people's judgments all the time, it was very difficult to get past that. And so I try to be reserved and allow people to have their process. But, you know, a lot of people say if you put your stuff on the internet, then people can say whatever they want. It's public now. You should be private. But the reality is the internet is how we communicate with each other. It's a huge tool for communication. And a lot of people who once didn't feel valued or heard use the internet to feel that. Facts, having a free peace of mind is key. Zoha, my first time catching you live. Wow, that's what's up. Hey, Nina. Yeah, so, yeah, I think, you know, then that's when it goes back to what's good character or not so good character, right? My character, my moral compass, and my character are aligned. So when I say I do no harm to others, that means any harm, right? Don't mean I'm going to let somebody harm me, but it means that I don't initiate harm. So if I see something that I don't readily agree with on the internet, I scroll, because I don't want to harm somebody else with my thoughts, my processes, my information. They didn't ask for it. And the development is hard on some level, because a lot of times we see people with poor character, what our moral compass tells us is poor character, getting ahead in life, right? Or winning, as people would say. But that's their karma. That's their dharma, however you want to say it. That's their destiny. Has nothing to do with us. And when you're in tune with your moral compass and aligned with it, then you get that the only reason you have these sets of morals is because this is what's going to get you through life. This is what's going to further you. And so not worrying about what everybody else does is a huge part of working on your character. Using people as peripheral lenses and not direct mirrors helps as well. And then what I'm saying by that is peripheral lens is like, you know, you're driving down the road and you see the car on the side of you. It's going wherever it's going. Is it on the road? You sure? But you don't know what how they got in the car. You don't know what, how they got the car. You don't know where they're going. You don't know the people in the car. And that's how I view everybody else on this planet, in this world. They're not in the same car with me. They're not in the same car with me. So I don't know what they had to do to get in that car that day and to, go on with their life. And so I try to be a good steward and drive and stay in my lane. Oh man. And it's just one of those things that I see all the time and experience sometimes from others that always, I saw a video. This is what brought it up today. One of my friends sent me a video. It was of a young woman at her college graduation. And at the college graduation, she snatches the microphone out of the presenter's hand because she feels that the presenter is racist and not allowing her to say her name properly. Wasn't saying her name properly. And so this was this big alter. Yep. So you saw that, Jay, right? So, I'm seeing this and I'm like, this is a lot. Like initially the shock of the interaction was like, oh my God, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot to watch. And, there was some very palpable anger between the two of them. And I'm like, wow, have they had an interaction before? Did she know this lady? What is going on? What's the backstory to this? And so then there's another video, because you know how the internet is. If you see something, it'll keep feeding you it over and over again because that's how it works. The other video comes up where she's explaining why she snatched the mic from the lady. And she was like, well, she stood in line at the graduation and watched her snatch the mic back from people and not allow them to say what they wanted to say during their graduation. So by the time she got up there, she was like, she's not going to do that to me. And I was just like, oh, I had so many thoughts. Right? And I had to step outside of how I would have handled it because I wasn't there. I wasn't in the car with this young woman. I don't know what her experiences have been like. I don't know how many times she's been overtalked. I don't know how many times she has not been allowed to speak her piece or her voice hasn't been heard. So in that moment, this young woman, that culmination of all those experiences showed up for her. Her trauma showed up for her. And this is what was displayed, right or wrong, right? Whether we believe it was right or wrong, good representation of black women, bad representation of black women, good representation of the black race, bad representation of the black race, whatever we believed it was. This woman was having a stress, anxiety-filled trauma event on tape. Thankfully, all I could think was, thankfully, all of the moments I've had that may have looked as erratic as this young woman had, there were no cameras. There's no video of it. But I know I had moments like this. I know I had moments where I felt like my voice wasn't heard. I know I had moments where I felt like I mattered and somebody didn't think that I mattered. I know I had moments where I saw someone be disrespectful to others and I stood up for myself because I wasn't going to deal with it. I know I had moments like that. And so my biggest thing was, okay, here's the grace for this young woman in this moment. Jay said, I'm glad she did that. What the lady did was wrong and nobody was saying nothing. And it was very, very wrong. And this is what happens when a clash of emotions come together like that, right? We saw what was really striking to me was not only was the young lady yanking the microphone from the woman was yanking it back. So like that's what shook me to my core because hey Ty, that's what shook me to my core because if I was not intentionally harming people and someone came up and snatched the microphone out of my hand, it would have just came right out of my hand, right? But if I was intentional, this is my thoughts. I'm not saying this is how it happened. I'm not saying this is what this woman's thing was, but whatever. But I'm just saying I've never held onto a microphone that damn tight. So if someone came up And I unknowingly was going to snatch something out of my hand. Like if someone ran past me right now and snatched his phone out of my hand, they would have it. I'm not holding on to it that tight. There's nothing, you know what I mean? There's nothing. um, yeah, that proved right there that lady wasn't letting people talk. Yeah, she definitely had something going on. So I considered all points of view before I made a decision about how I felt about it. But I'm telling you, off the top, off the top, being conditioned in the mind the way that we are as black people, I said, oh my God, what's going on with sis? Is she okay? I automatically wondered, well, what kind of day? I was wondering what was going on with her. And, um, you know, that's why I'm really, you know, always checking myself, checking my character, checking my moral compass, and seeing how are you showing up in this moment, girl? What's going on with you? You know, and before I judge, especially if I do judge, you know, because most of the time it's not for me to judge, not for me to even be concerned about. And taking that route has really helped me have so much freedom in my mind, in my spirit, in my heart when I deal with people, you know what I mean? Because I'm always considering how much people have to go through in order to show up, you know? And I could just imagine, we don't know that girl's circumstances. We don't know if she was the first college graduate in her family. We don't know if what she had to do to get through college. You know, all of those things considered for her to have that visceral response to being possibly treated that way and being treated that way. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, right? Who are you? Who are you? Who do you say you are? Who are you in this world? What's your stance? What's your mission statement to the world, right? What are your values? Why are these your values? Why are they there? What circumstances brought you to this reality, this space that you're existing in right now? That these are your morals and values and beliefs. And how do you show up in a world that aligns with those things? That's good character or unwell character. I hope this made sense, y'all. That's really all I had to say this week. Right, stand on something or fall for anything. And honey, that interaction was so intense. I could see it, like right now, like I'm looking at you guys and talking to you. It was so intense. I could see the whole thing like replay in my mind's eye because it was so intense. But yeah, sometimes when you choose to take a stand, you're gonna look like the bully. You are. Especially when people aren't used to people who look like you standing up for themselves. You're gonna look like the bully. And you're gonna definitely look like the bully to us as black people sometimes, because so many of us want to just get along, want to just exist without problems. But the reality is we were born into this reality that is plagued with these issues, and we don't get to act like they don't exist. We don't get to act like you know, we can exist without them, because they exist. We exist because they exist. We exist in the state that we exist in the Americas, because they exist. Otherwise, I would not be speaking English, and you would not be able to understand me. You know, it wouldn't be a thing. I'd be speaking a whole nother language, living in a whole nother country, having different experiences. But this is the reality we tapped into in this round. And I think that the more we be okay with that, not that it'll get better, because I don't think this is a state of betterness here. I think this is a state of wellness, of communal wellness, that we'll communally feel weller about being in these bodies. A lot of the things that people complain about in our communities exist because of our disassociation from who we are here in this realm. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I'm gonna finish my walk. I appreciate you guys. I should tell you, there's a sale. I told y'all at the top, it's my birthday next Thursday. It's 7 days away from my birthday. All June I have a birthday sale. The link is in, I'll put the link under here if you want to buy some jewelry. It's only on jewelry. If you want to book me for yoga or coaching or Reiki, that's also the same link. And I appreciate y'all so much. I'm so happy I hopped on today. And oh, the couples yoga is coming up July 15th. So Love on the Mat, that's virtual. And then yoga in the park is July 8th. That's here in the DMV at Watkins Park. All of that stuff is on my website, y'all. So if you want to hang out with me and do yoga in the park, that's coming up in a few weeks, in 2 weeks. And then if you got a lady or a man or a woman, whoever you with, and you want to come do yoga as a couple with me and my husband, that's available too. So I'll holler at y'all. Peace. Take care of yourselves.